What's up, guys? It's Gnarly Charlie. Today, I'm doing a must-watch video collection, I guess, of what I feel, you know, are some essential must-watch movies for metalheads. Um, the only requirement for it is that it cannot be based off of one particular band. I'm not going to include live concerts or documentaries about a particular band itself. Uh, the little Kuna Coil DVD that I recently got from Black Metal Record or BlackMetal.com had a live concert and a documentary at the end of it about the tour and how they started. It's not going to involve any of that kind of material. It's all based off of either a lot of different bands or particular movies that I feel are related to heavy metal in some way or shape or another. Anyway, right now we are listening to Deceased as The Weird Travel On. I have been on a King Foley or Fowley. I don't really know how you pronounce it. It might be Foley. Kick lately. It's mainly because I got the book from House Headbangers, and I'd never really been into, Deceased or some of the other projects he's been in. But I really liked October 31, and I thought might be a good chance for me to kind of expand my musical horizons and get into a few different bands. And I didn't realize he was in so many different bands other than October 31 and Deceased, because right at the end of the book, it's got all his his discog of all his other previous bands and what he sang on and played on, stuff like that. So it's a pretty interesting book if you get a chance. I'll leave a link to it. They probably still have some copies of House Headbangers, so if you like King Foley. Ugh, I'm sorry, I've never heard the name. I've just heard like King or something like that in reference to him. But anyway, let's get started. First off, we have black metal, the music of Satan. This goes through a couple different black metal bands: Abzu, Venom, Mayhem, Enslaved, Gorgoroth. Basically talks about their side of the story. It's not like it doesn't have any journalists in it saying, "Oh yeah, I remember when this band came out and it was the coolest thing because I got their demo and I was still an underground reporter at that point." No, it's literally straight from the band's mouth. It might be a little exaggerated a little bit at times. They're definitely a little funny. Some of them, especially, I believe Primordial is in this at some point, and he's, just goofing off, being silly. And a few other guys that are, just flat out hilarious. But definitely a good documentary if you want to get more in depth of black metal aside from the typical Mayhem, Venom, Gorgoroth. It's got Abzu, Rotting Christ, Dimmu Borgir. A lot more variety, I guess. But check that out. Next, I couldn't really name one without naming the other. So I decided to do them both at the same time. The Hell's Headbash DVD set. First one only had Midnight, Nunslaughter, Acid Witch, and Shitfucker. I think from what I remember, it was just kind of on repeat of it would do one song and then another, so and forth, and then go right back into the same. Like say it started with Midnight, goes to Nunslaughter, Acid Witch, Shitfucker. After Shitfucker's first song, it would go to Midnight's second song. And I believe that's how it went. And it had a few interviews, and it had music videos from each band, which I gotta say, the Shitfucker, I think it's Sex Dungeon is what they did the music video for, is really good. And me being a huge Acid Witch fan, the fact that they did Party Time, which was by the 45 Grave, I thought that was really cool. I'm a huge Ash Witch fan. And then the second one had a lot more bands added to it. October 31, Cyanide, Blood Feast, Destruction, Inquisition, which if you ever get a chance to see Inquisition live, fucking do it, because Inquisition's amazing. And Black Witchery, and like just loads of others. I don't know if you can see any of those names. The glare is retarded today, but you know what's new. But yeah, the Hell's Headbash 1 and 2. I will definitely leave a link to that because I love supporting Hell's Headbangers. They're amazing. Next up, we have Deathgasm. Now, if you've never heard of this, then you've probably been living under a rock. Like, I'm gonna be honest, because this is probably the funniest, the goriest, metal-related comedy horror movie. It's basically goes around with the story of, you know, this main character right there in the middle. I can't remember his name. It's been a while since I've actually seen the thing, but I did go through a kick where I just had to watch it constantly all the time. He moves in with his very Christian family and meets up with a kind of rebellious, possibly older, I don't really remember that too much about it, metalhead. Main character's already a metalhead. Two of them become great friends, end up hearing about a super rare record just outside of town, and they end up stealing it, or trying to at least, and then run from a cult of Satanists. And they get home, finally open up the record, like, yeah, we're gonna finally get to listen to this record. And all that's in there is sheet music for this really super demonic song that conjures evil spirits to take over basically the entire town. And they've got to try and undo the magical spell. I don't want to give too much away, but definitely check it out. Next, we have Witchfinder General. Now, in case you don't know, it's got Vincent Price in it, and it's based on a true story. There really were apparently witches in England. I think 14th century. I don't really remember. Around that era, 13th, 14th century. And definitely before the Salem witch trials, if that helps any. I'm not really big on exact dates in history. But it's really good. It influenced the band Witchfinder General, and then it also influenced Cathedral into doing an entire album based off of actually this movie. And I used to have this book, I might still have it somewhere, called the Encyclopedia of Heavy Metal, and that's where I first originally found out about Cathedral. And they actually mention in it that this is the movie that they remember watching as kids, and they decided to make an entire album based off of this particular movie. But Witchfinder General, starring Vincent Price. If you can find a copy of that, definitely check it out. I had to actually do quite a lot of searching to find that. Last, I know I've said that it wasn't going to be any particular bands or anything like that. However, I'm going to say Guar, Phallus in Wonderland. This is not... I don't really know how to say it. It's not music related, like they're not on stage playing any instruments or anything like that. This is an actual movie that they made. And it's got Odur Shurungus's penis getting cut off, the Cuddle Snake of Cthulhu. And they end up going to court trying to get custody of it back. And there's, giant monster battles, and it's just... I mean, it's typical gore. But I don't think at any point in time they actually, play on stage or anything. So that's why I'm considering this as one of those must-have movies. If you ever get a chance, this movie is non-stop hilarious. And I think at the very beginning of it, like one of the characters like ends up smoking meth or something, but just totally gore crazy all in one movie, and it's definitely worth it. I definitely want to check out other movies that they've made. So anyway, that is my list. I hope you know, maybe you have some of these movies, maybe you've seen them. This isn't a 100% list of, you know, required metal viewing, but it's just my list. If you don't like it, feel free to make your own. But anyway, hit like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, later guys.